What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today I'm going to be reviewing a film. It's been out for about a month. It's called Beast, and I got a chance to finally check it out. It stars Idris Elba, and it's about Idris Elba's character, who is a widowed father, taking his two daughters to South Africa to kind of reconnect with them and try to get some healing after the passing of his wife and their mom, who is from South Africa. This is where they met, so they're going there to, like I said, try to reconnect a little with his daughters and just kind of have some healing. And obviously the opposite effect happens when a big-ass lion tries to kill them. And that's what this movie is. It's kind of a creature feature, and the creature is a ferocious lion. And I like how they set this movie up early on why the lion is so pissed off. We can even kind of relate to the lion and why he's pissed off. And if he sees any humans, he's going to take them out at all costs. This lion has just, something has snapped, and this lion is absolutely pissed and is going to act irregular and not like most lions do. Most lions, you leave them alone, they leave you alone. But this lion is out for revenge. He's out for blood. He sees a human. He is going to get them at all costs. This is like a Michael Myers of lions. Okay, this lion has just completely lost its mind, and he is out for blood. And it's really crazy, and it's really interesting, and it makes for a really fun movie. That being said, there is issues. Major issues, and we'll get into those, but I want to start with the positives, and we're going to keep this non-spoilery for a while, and when I get into spoilers at the end, I'll let you know. So the movie's been out for a while, good chance you've seen it. If not, you'll decide if you want to see it after this, hopefully. So starting with the positives, non-spoiler, I think the movie moves quick. It's about an hour. It's not too long, about an hour and a half. I'm not exactly sure the runtime, but you can feel that it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it introduces the characters. It teaches you what you need to know about the characters, and you kind of care about the characters. You have some sympathy for them. You understand his situation as a father. He's not a perfect father. He's made some mistakes. He's not always there for his kids. He is a doctor. He's very busy, but he has a lot of guilt over his wife's passing, and you just kind of connect to them pretty quickly, and you feel their wholesomeness as a family, and their lack thereof sometimes, and why they're trying to bring that back together and trying to get the family back on better terms, because right now there is some problems going on. And then he also reconnects with his old friend. They call him Uncle Martin, and he's a great character as well. And he's kind of the expert out there in South Africa. He knows what's going on, and he's kind of their guide. But Idris Elba's character is also very smart. Obviously, he's a doctor. He has a lot of knowledge, but he's just not an expert out there in South Africa dealing with the animals and whatnot. Even though he's been there before, you can tell he has some knowledge. He's not completely clueless, but he's not a complete expert either. There's a lot of fantastic suspense in this movie. You don't know when the lion's going to show up. You kind of feel the fear that everyone else is feeling there. And I got to give a big shout out to just the cinematography. The shots, they really are a lot better than I expected. You can tell they took some time. There's long shots where they'll follow the characters and everything, and you feel like you're just kind of an observer there as well, and it just makes for a really immersive experience, and it makes it really exciting. And but just the longer shots that go up throughout the house kind of follows them, and then where they're out there as well dealing with the lion. To that end, the actors I think did very well. Even the daughters, I'm getting to the script and the things that they actually had to say. But as far as the performance, I thought they were rather convincing as two young teenage girls. I think, one of them is a teenager. I'm not sure how old the younger one is, maybe like 11, 12, but I'm not really sure. But I think they both did a really good job. And of course, Idris Elba is Idris Elba. Dude just knocked it out of the park. He was fantastic, really fun to watch. And Uncle Martin, that actor he's in other films and other shows as well. And he did a really good job too. The lion itself, scary stuff. And it's not always just attacking. Sometimes just see him walking around the distance, and it's just builds some suspense. And it's a scary situation when you see this lion. He's just not quitting. He's not leaving. And he's kind of a super lion. He's pumped up on adrenaline. He's so pissed off. We don't know what's going on. Or this is the Michael Myers of lions. That's what this is. This is just a killer lion. And he has his reasons why. There's a little backstory with the lion. It's brief, but like I said, they could have made this movie 2.5 hours and it could have been way too long. But they showed us just enough to get the movie going to what we want to see. So all that was fantastic. I thought the shots were fantastic. The CGI, There may be some complaints out there. I'm not really sure. People are really picky. I'm not that picky about CGI as long as it's not so bad that it's like, God, I can't even watch this. It's so distracting because it's so fake. And I didn't notice that at all. I was able to just kind of forget it was CGI and enjoy, because I never thought to myself, that looks so fake. It never really crossed my mind, even though sometimes you can tell, but overall, it was good enough. It was certainly good enough. So, I mean, I think that there's definitely much worse movies out there as far as CGI goes. So that's just my opinion, though. Some other people might watch this and say, yeah, that's trash CGI. But I've never been someone who's been too picky over that. But this movie has a decent structure. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I think that the script has so much potential. But that brings me to my negatives. And look, you have to give your audience some respect, man. I mean, we are not all complete morons out here, Hollywood. And when you treat us like idiots and have these actors behave in the stupidest ways that make no sense at all, there's a problem. And that's just what happens in this movie. And unrealistic scenarios where somebody, you know, it happens in movies, right? This person should be dead. This person should be dead. Long dead, and they're still moving around. It's called plot armor, right? The plot armor in this movie is insane, absolutely ridiculous, and it almost makes the lion less intimidating, and you don't want that. And you know, I understand you need some of these things to keep the movie going. It's kind of a horror movie in a way where you need people to make dumb decisions to keep the plot going, but I watch these movies and I think, like, within 10 seconds, I can think of a better way to do that. Or I can think of a way you could have avoided that stupid decision that character made and still get the effect that you wanted. Happens all the time. Like, why didn't you just do this? Why didn't you just do that? I'm going to get into it in the spoiler section, but all the time. And it's just so irritating that movies choose to do this. Once or twice is forgivable, but over and over and over and over. And that's really the only issue, other than one thing, which is actually a pretty major. There's two major problems with this movie. That's one, just the lack of believability, even though, yes, this lion is already behaving in a crazy way that's not normal, but we can accept that. That's the part. There's always one major thing going on to make the movie happen that's either supernatural or at least very crazy or irregular, and that's fine. We accept that. That's going on right here. We got Mr. Michael Myers lion here going on, okay, trying to kill everyone. It's freaking Jason right here, okay, he's the lion, okay? So we got Jason Voorhees as the lion. We understand that. Other than that, though, can we keep everything else as logical as possible? No. But the other issue in this movie is there is just some annoying characters that are so annoying, and I'll talk about it. Well, at least one. It's so bad, and it gets on my nerves, and it's so constant that it pretty much ruins the movie. You hear them saying that before the movie starts at the theaters? Don't text, don't use your phone, don't ruin the movie. Well, they didn't need to text, or anyone in texting is text all you want, because a character ruined the movie. Because, oh my gosh, was that an annoying character. And if you saw the movie, you already know who I'm talking about. So overall, ladies and gentlemen, this movie, while it's got a lot of positives and it's got a lot of potential, unfortunately, just those few negatives are enough to make this movie, as far as I'm concerned, see it if you're bored. See it if you're bored. I mean, if you got an hour and a half to kill and you want something that's at least going to be entertaining, you're going to have some suspense, and it's going to go by quick, and you're not going to be bored out of your mind. You won't be bored, I'll say that. Check it out. I mean, it'll kill an hour and a half. You haven't seen it. It's a new movie. It's got IDRIS ELBA. Check it out. Check it out. If you're bored. And now I want to get in some quick spoilers. Spoilers talk starts now. And I got to start with we're going to talk about the negatives. I mean, I'm not going to go through every aspect of the movie, but the unrealistic aspects of this movie are so bad. Decisions by characters over and over, that make absolutely zero sense. But there are a couple that I'm going to point out, a couple of specifics. A lot of these things are done by the oldest daughter, who is this annoying character that I've spoken of. She's terrible. She is the most annoying character. I'll get back to her. And constantly doing things, and she's told stay in the car, gets out the car, told be quiet, starts honking the horn. What are you doing? The lion's right there. The radio started working at one point. Someone was calling it. The radio's working. The radio's working. That's an exciting moment. Like, oh, crap. Yeah, See if they'll answer. They're in the truck here. They're confined in the truck. Closed, windows closed, doors closed. So now you think you start talking back. She goes, starts honking the horn. What are you honking the horn? I get it. Maybe they're on the radio. That means they're somewhere nearby. But don't just start honking the horn or ask or something. But she just acts impulsively all the time and does stupid things, including when her dad is out. He said, I'll be back in 10 minutes. He goes out to try to find the keys because they're trying to get another car started. And almost instantly, she starts calling him on the walkie-talkie. Dad, 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 shut the hell up. He's out there where the line is trying to be quiet. Why are you calling him on the walkie-talkie? Wait for him to call you, or at least wait a reasonable amount of time. But anyway, that's just a couple of little things. Maybe you call those nitpicks. That's fine. Let's get to the non-nitpicks, in my opinion, that are even worse. Later on in the film, they're trying to get away from this lion. They come across some shelter. It's like an old schoolhouse. They get in, they go inside, right? Wow, we found a building. We found a way to shelter ourselves. We can be maybe safe here. Maybe the lion can't get in. Oh, thank God. They walk into this. This is the stupidest thing I've ever. They walk in, open the door, walk in, leave the door wide open. And as they're looking around, trying to examine what's in the house, just seeing what they have for survival or whatnot, or seeing what they have to get to the next step, maybe looking for some fuel because they were going to run out of fuel. That's why they stopped there instead of, ideally you would just keep on driving, but he didn't want to keep driving and run out of fuel in the middle of freaking nowhere where they would die. So he had to stop here to find if they have water, if they have fuel, anything there, and get a little bit of protection here in the meantime. So, because they're trying to get away, they haven't gotten very far yet. So anyway, now while they're looking around, they start opening doors and stuff, and every time they open a door, they leave the door open. And they constantly are leaving doors open. Like they've never heard of closing a door. Now, most people just kind of close a door. You don't want to get the flies in. Don't let the cold air in. We kind of close door. Now, sometimes I don't, but I don't have a big old lion chasing after me. Even when I come home from somewhere, I usually walk in, and first thing you do is close the door. You just kind of close the door. Anyway, especially when you have a lion after you. You definitely close the doors, close the windows. Oh my gosh, that's the first thing you do. And I'm thinking, that lion's just going to waltz up in there. That lion just waltzed up in there. And it was like, duh. Why didn't you have them close the doors? You close that logic gap right there. You take care of that. And then have the lion show up and, he's coming through. He's hitting on there. There's a wood door. It's not that strong or whatever. It's not that secure of a door, but it's all they got. And he's slowly coming in. You build suspense, you build some action. I just threw that out there. It would have been 10 times better because you deal with this logic issue of leaving the door open. Now, later on, one of the daughters, and I realized this afterwards, one of the daughters mentioned something like, it smells in here. It smells. So is that supposed to be some kind of an excuse for us to believe that they would leave all the doors and windows open? I don't know. But that just threw me like, whoa. And there were many more decisions like that. Like, no, you would never do that. Nobody would do that. The oldest daughter, however, might do these things because she is just an impulsive teenager of the most annoying type. She never shuts up, never will agree with anything that dad tries to do. Dad says, okay, this is what we're going to do now. I need y'all to trust me. Blah, blah, blah. No, daddy, no, daddy, no, daddy, we can't do that. No, daddy, we're going to do this instead. We didn't do this. No, daddy, we need to keep on driving. No, daddy, no, we're not going to do that. No, daddy, please, no. That we can't do that. No. I'm going to go get the keys so we can get out of here. No, daddy, no. Stay here.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
No, daddy, we're going to do this instead. We didn't do this. No, daddy, we need to keep on driving. No, daddy, no, we're not going to. Anything that dad wants to do, she screams and like a little child that she is and begs not to and is always doing the opposite that she's supposed to and never shuts the freak up. The most annoying teenage. She's just at that age. I get it. Like, I'm not even saying it's not realistic. I know there are teenagers like this. Not all. I'm not saying everyone was like this at this age, but many teenagers, they get to that age where they're old enough. Like when you're younger, you kind of know you're not in charge. When you're 9, 8, you're just adorable. You know you're not in charge. You know the parents call the shots. You just kind of do what they say. And when you're really much older, when you're in your 30s, 40s, you know that you actually know what's going on. You've been around. You know what's up. You do call the shots because you know what's up. But when you're at that age, 16, 17, 15, I don't know how old she is, You think you know what's up. You think you're old enough that you know what's up and you can call the shots, but you really don't. You're still a kid and you don't know what you're talking about and you're just annoying. And that's her. And she just wouldn't stop. And I don't know why they wrote the film that way. Why would you want a character that annoys the hell out of the audience for nearly the entire runtime? I have no clue. Truth be told, the first 2/3 of the movie, I think I would have loved it. I think I would have thought it was awesome if you didn't have that girl just annoying the hell out of me. She would just not stop. And she was the biggest culprit in just doing stupid things that make no sense at all. But pretty much everyone took a little part in that. That's pretty much it. Those are the two main negatives. The just idiotic decisions. And of course I mentioned the plot armor. Oh my God. I can't stop the review without talking about this. In the final scene, Idris Elba's character goes out because his plan is to go out and take on this lion basically by himself. Literally, he's going to fight this lion, and he's going to try to attract some other lions that are nearby that were presented earlier in the movie. Those lions are hopefully going to start a fight with this lion, and they'll all be fighting, and that will distract him so he can get the hell out of there. Stupid plan, but there is no good plan. So I'm okay with it because we want to have a scene to see this lion actually get. I get it. The filmmaker's like, we have to have a scene where he freaking actually the lion gets Idris, and they're actually going at it. That's fine, but obviously Idris Elba's either going to die or it's going to be very brief. You have those two choices. It's going to be brief or Idris is going to die because that's the only things that make any semblance of sense. They didn't do either of those. This fight went on and on and on and on and on. Idris Elba, a doctor, he know Jason Bourne out there. And even if he was Jason Bourne, he'd still get his ass kicked very quickly and killed because it's a lion. But anyway, Idris Elba's taking on, this lion is just ripping him apart, mauling him for, it felt like, I mean, the scene would go and the lion would rip him up and tear him apart and throw him across. I'm like, damn, that's it. Here come the other lions. Oh no, the lion jumps on him again. Okay, I guess Idris Elba's going to die. Rips him apart, mauling him, throwing pieces of him, ripping him, jumps on him, all over him, throws him across. Like, oh shit. I don't think he's going to make it. Jumps on him again! Starts ripping him apart! Throws him across! Jumps on him again! What the how long is this going to go? By the time it's over, we're going to see like Idris Elba some bones. And he's dead. He is dead. Of course he's not dead. He survives. The lions eventually do come and fight. I was like, why did you make that go so long? Why didn't you make that go one quick scene where he just jumped on him and mauled him and got him and the other lions came quick and that would at least explain how he survived? I never seen no plot armor like that in a movie. Oh my gosh. Wow. Holy smokes. He should have been dead. And this happens a few times. Like other characters earlier in the movie, by the way, the ones who are dispensable, yeah, lion jumps on them, they're dead. They're gone. They're finished. Takes a second, they're dead. But of course, Idris Elba. Oh, no, Idris Elba? No, he survives. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. Such a stupid movie, despite having so much potential, and it's sad. But, you know, I say see it if you're bored because I do think it has enough merit. It doesn't deserve a hard pass or a trash. I mean, it's not trash, but it's got some trash aspects. What a disappointment overall. And that's my review. I know it's a little bit longer, but I wanted to get into some of those spoilers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. And we'll talk to you next time.